If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. Success begins with a person's will. It's a state of mind.
The only place to buy your new 24-plate Mercedes-Benz is direct from Mercedes-Benz. It's the only place where you'll always find our best offers, like on the A-Class range from £299 a month. Simply talk to the team at your local store or search the online showroom. Order your new 24-plate today. Choose, buy, drive your new Mercedes-Benz.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now! How do you like it? Off the shoulder. So aggressive, so focused. Look at these two guys. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody. It's weigh-in day in Sheffield as the fighters prepare to face the scales and face each other for the final time before they meet in the ring tomorrow night live right here on DAZN. Jamie Ward here to bring you all of today's proceedings. One sleep to go alongside former IBF World Middleweight Champion, Mr. Darren Barker. Darren, when you look at Dalton Smith, when he turned professional after a brilliant amateur career, we've seen him grow, not just as a person, but as a fighter as well, through English, British, Commonwealth level, like we said yesterday, fairly immaculately. Yeah. And you also, when you look here, he's one of Sheffield's own. You've seen that support grow with him. Not a bad turnout here for a Friday afternoon.
No, not bad at all. And they're looking for their next star. You know, we've had some brilliant fighters here in Sheffield, and Dalton Smith fits the bill. He's a very, very good fighter, but this is a very, very tough test against a proven former three-time world title challenger.
And these are the days, I'm sure, as a former pro, former world champion, that you don't miss very much. The weigh-in day, probably looking forward just to eating, or do you? Go on, tell me.
Look, the hard work's done, all the weight loss is done. This is the time you can get on the scales now and show the hard work that you've done, and you can eat after this. That's lovely.
Well, myself and Darren will be trying to grab a word with some of the fighters as they get off the scales here this afternoon. But let's give you a final reminder of the order of play, not just for today's weigh-in, but also for all the action tomorrow right here on DAZN. Before the bell begins, 5:15 p.m. on air, Darren Barker taking you through all of the action as lead commentator. 5:20 first bell, 7-0, Steffi Balltrain, Conan Murray joins his stablemates Jimmy Joe Flint and Terry Harper on the card. He meets Edgar Kempski over 6 rounds at middleweight before 19-year-old Lely Buttigieg keeps busy. Third fight for him as a young professional, second fight this year after banking 4 rounds for the first time in January. He steps up to 6 rounds this weekend against Poland's Bartolomed Strajcek at super welterweight. Our final fight on Before the Bell sees the return of Sheffield's former Commonwealth middleweight champion Liam Cameron. 6 rounds that one at 175 pounds before we cross live to the main DAZN broadcast. Usual time of 7 p.m. Mansfield's Nico Lavar steps up to 10 rounds in his 7th professional fight. He fights Southend-on-Sea's Peter Mirga in what is a final eliminator for the English super bantamweight title. 25 years ago, in 1999, Ricky Hatton won the Central Area super lightweight title, and this weekend, son Campbell Hatton looks to do the very same. Champion Jimmy Joe Flint, though, the man in the opposite corner, is bang up for it this weekend. Big night for both. There's a final eliminator for the British title too to look forward to at 154 pounds in what on paper promises fireworks. Ishmael Davis and Troy Williamson meet over 12 before the chief support. What a fight this is. Sandy Ryan defends her WBO World Welterweight crown against Denneby's two-weight world champion Terry Harper. 10 2-minute rounds at 147 pounds. Before the return of Thunder, Sheffield's own Dalton Smith looks to break onto the world stage in style when he meets a hungrier than ever three-time world title challenger Jose Zepeda in what is a mighty step up in class. Over 12 rounds with the vacant WBC silver super lightweight title at stake. Darren, good little atmosphere building in here. I'm hearing we're ready to get today's weigh-in underway. Our MC for the afternoon, Mr. David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here to the historic and beautiful Cutler's Hall in the Steel City of Sheffield, England, for the official weigh-in of our big night of World Championship Boxing taking place here on Saturday night. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, and Forged Irish Stout, and of course all the action will be televised around the world, specifically on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great fight card. We have 8 fights on the card. We have 3 title fights. We have 2 final eliminators, 1 world title fight, and at the top of the bill, Dalton Smith, Zepeda. It's a mouth-watering 140-pound contest. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage with a professional record of 6 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. Originally from Slovakia and now living, training, and fighting out of Belfast, please welcome Edgar Kemsky. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect. 7 fights, 7 victories, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Cusworth, Doncaster, please welcome Conan the Barbarian Murray. Now to the scale, Edgar Kemsky. $156.6 for Edgar Kemsky, 156.6. And now to the scale, the undefeated man from Doncaster, Conan the Barbarian Murray. $158 bang on, 158 pounds for Conan the Barbarian Murray.
Darren. Well, as I said, Darren the Barbarian, Conan Murray, joining his stablemates on the card this weekend. You'll be calling this fight from ringside. What have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, first off, what a great opportunity for both men to be on a massive card like this. Conor Walker, he's good. He's a handful. He can punch. He's physically very strong. And this is his platform, his moment to showcase that physical presence, that skill, and that know-how. Big opportunity for both.
Conan Murray, Edgar Kemsky. 6 rounds middleweights, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
I beg your pardon, Murray.
Do you know what? I don't want to interrupt you there.
Yeah, I was in full flow there.
It's the spelling, Connor. I can see why he did it. But no, it is Conan Murray, not Conor Walker, versus Kemsky. 6 rounds middleweights gets us underway tomorrow on Before the Bell from Sheffield, 5:15 p.m. Matchroom Boxing and DAZN YouTube channels. Our next fighters are standing by. Back to our MC, Mr. David Diamante, to bring them up.
All right, ladies Next contest, 6 rounds in the super welterweight division. Now making his way to the stage, professional record 2-2 with 1 knockout. He fights out of Besvina, Poland, Bartłomiej Stryjczka. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, 2-0, 1 knockout. He's the 4-time national champion. Fighting out of Newham, London, please welcome Lely Buttigieg. Now to the scale, Bartłomiej Stryjczak. .156 bang on for Bartłomiej Stryjczak, 156 pounds. And now to the scale, the undefeated young Lely Buttigieg. .157.2 for Lely Buttigieg, 157.2.
Here is Lely Buttigieg, Darren. Still just 19 years of age, 1 first round stoppage. Back 4 rounds, didn't he, in January in Belfast against a tough and game opponent, and in fight number 3, straight up to 6 rounds. What do you like about that early roadmap?
Yeah, I think it's the right time, if I'm honest. Been very impressed with Lely. I think last time out was a very good learning fight for him, and a fight he needed. It was a quick finish in his debut. But this is a fight where comparisons are going to be made. We see Stryjczak get beat by Jimmy Sains in 3 rounds, so straight away there's going to be those comparisons. But a very exciting prospect indeed is Buttigieg.
Lely Buttigieg, Bartłomiej Stryjczak, 6 rounds, super welterweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
Look forward to seeing the return of Lely Buttigieg up at 6 rounds. Your middle fight on the Before the Bell segment before our final fight on Before the Bell, which sees the return of Liam Cameron. He's standing by, and here is your MC once again, Mr. David Diamante, to bring the fighters to the stage.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next contest, 6 rounds, light heavyweights. Now making his way to the stage from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, 16-8-3 with 11 knockouts, Hussein Itaba. And his opponent now making his way to the stage with a professional record of 22 victories, 5 defeats, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of right here in Sheffield, England, Liam Cannonball Cameron. Now to scale, Hussein Itaba. .173.3 for Hussein Itaba, 173.3. And now to the scale, from the Steel City, Liam Cannonball Cameron. 174.8 for Liam Cannonball Cameron, 174.8.
Well, Liam Cameron, Darren, a former Commonwealth middleweight champion. Know a few fighters over the years who have picked up that belt. But he's a strong character, isn't he, Liam? And it's good to see him back on the big stage.
Absolutely, been through an awful lot, but shows real will, desire and ambition to get back in there after a long layoff. He's a very good fighter. You've only got to look back at his amateur pedigree. Very, very good.
Liam Cameron, Hussein Itaba, 6 rounds, light heavyweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
Well, the action doesn't stop this weekend on DAZN. So much to look forward to. Perhaps, though, doesn't get much bigger than this.
Live on DAZN worldwide May 18th. The fight of the century. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury looks to reign as king of the division. But Alexander Usyk is undefeated and coming for the crown. For the first time in over 20 years, all the belts are on the line. Ring of Fire, live on DAZN worldwide, May 18th.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues right now. We go 10 rounds for the English Super Bantamweight Final Eliminator. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 7 victories against 2 defeats. He fights out of Southend-on-Sea in Essex. Please welcome Peter Gypsy Murga. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated in his young campaign as a professional with a record of 5 victories, no defeats, 1 draw. He fights out of Mansfield. Here is the standout British amateur, Nico Lightning Lavars. Now to the scale, Peter Gypsy Murga. 121.1 for Peter Gypsy Murga, 121.1. And now to the scale, Nico Lightning Lavars. 121.3 for Nico Lightning Lavars, 121.3.
Well, the current English champion, Darren at 122 pounds, Zahid Hussein. Nico Darren made it clear he wants him. He's got a fighter, though, in Peter Murga opposite him, very much with his own ambitions.
Yeah, he can fight. He's a handful, brings it every time he gets into the ring. We've seen a lot of promise from Nico, and this is a fight where he really steps up again, and he'll be looking to put in a very eye-catching performance, no doubt.
As I said yesterday, had a bit of bad cut with cuts and injuries, steps up to 10 rounds. He says he's ready. This definitely the first big step up, acid test for Nico Lavars.
Nico Lightning Lavars, Peter Gypsy Murga, 10 rounds for the English Super Bantamweight Final Eliminator, Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
Well, the Central Area Super Lightweight title is up for grabs tomorrow night. Can't wait for this one. Campbell Hatton versus Jimmy Joe Flint over 10 rounds. Here is David Diamante to bring the fighters to the stage and to the scales.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, we go 10 rounds for the Central Area Super Lightweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. Undefeated as a professional, 14 fights, 14 victories with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is a defending champion, professional record, 13 victories, 1 defeat, 2 draws, with 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Doncaster, here is the reigning and defending Central Area Super Lightweight Champion, the Young Lion, Jimmy Joe Flint. And now to the scale, the challenger, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. 139.7 for the undefeated Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. And now to the scale, the reigning and defending champion, the Young Lion, Jimmy Joe Flint. 139, bang on. 139 for the Young Lion, Jimmy Joe Flint.
Great support, Darren, for Jimmy Joe Flint in here. This afternoon, they're making themselves heard. And as he said yesterday at the press conference, not coming here to lay down. This is a big fight for both, but it's a big fight for Campbell Hatton too.
Oh, massive fight. This is a sink or swim. Time to step up. Time to see if you're at this level. Jimmy Joe Flint, we know he is. We know how good of a fighter he is. He knows what it takes to win fights like this. So it promises to be a great fight. It really does.
First 10-rounder for young Campbell Hatton, of course. Jimmy Joe Flint has 3 times gone the full 10-round distance. They'll have time to pace themselves, but I imagine this will be fought at a frantic pace. Central Area Super Lightweight title on the line. Jimmy Joe Flint versus Campbell Hatton live on DAZN.
Central Area Super Lightweight Championship. Natural Boxing live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
We are hoping to be able to grab a quick word with Campbell Hatton as he jumps off the stage here. Don't mind that at all though, Darren. And I mean, Campbell, everyone he's fought so far in his 14-fight journey has had a bit to say. They've all said similar things to him about him not being Ricky's son and he can't fight for you. But this is the first time I feel there's been some genuine animosity and some genuine needle he's having to overcome mentally as well.
Yeah, I think so. And it will show what he's made of mentally. We're seeing improvements all the time in the ring, but like I say, Jimmy Joe Flint, he can really fight and he really believes in himself. So that promises, like I say, to be a great fight tomorrow night.
Well, we were going to try and grab a word with Campbell. Not sure that's going to happen now. That's the beauty of live television. David's ready. The next fighters are ready. Let's move on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest. 12 rounds for the British Super Welterweight Final Eliminator. Now making his way to the stage, professional record, 20 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former British and IBF European Super Welterweight Champion, Trojan, Troy Williamson. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, undefeated in his career as a professional, with a record of 12 victories, no defeats, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Leeds, here is Ishmael, the Black Panther, Davis. Now to the scale, Troy Williamson. 158.2 for Trojan Troy Williamson. And now to the scale, the undefeated Ishmael, the Black Panther, Davis. 153.8 for Ishmael Davis, 153.8.
Well, Troy Williamson, 4 pound over the super welterweight limit there, Darren. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, he's massive. He really is huge for the weight. Getting to that later stage of the career. Yeah, be interested. Davis obviously making the weight. It's a fight that I hope we still see. He's a brilliant prospect, is Davis.
What sort of impact would that have on Ishmael Davis's mindset, do you think?
I don't think a great deal, if I'm honest. It's about staying switched on. The task at hand still remains.
Ishmael Davis, Troy Williamson, 12 rounds for the British Super Welterweight Final Eliminator. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
Now, what a fight this is, Darren, this next one. What a fight. We're truly seeing, I spoke to Eddie Hearn about this week, we're seeing the fights that the fans want to see. This is certainly one of them. Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper, WBO World Welterweight crown on the line. Here is David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Now making her way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. Fighting out of Denby, England, here is the former WBC and IBO Super Featherweight World Champion and the reigning WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Terry Belter Harper. Harper. And now making her way to the stage, please welcome the defending world champion. Professional record 6-1-1, 2 knockouts, fighting out of Derby. Here is the reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, Sandy Ryan. Now to the scale, the challenger, Terry Belter Harper. $145.9 for Terry Belter Harper, the challenger, 145.9. And now to the scale, the defending world champion, Sandy Ryan. 146.2 for the defending world champion, Sandy Ryan.
Well, Darren, they both took confidence from the spars, but tomorrow we see it for real under the bright lights. How would you describe your confidence and excitement ahead of this one?
Oh, my excitement's through the roof. This is a proper fight. This is two extremely talented fighters at the top of their games in a huge fight, a must-win fight on Saturday.
Absolutely, very confident we're going to see a great fight here tomorrow night. Terry Harper, a two-time two-weight world champion, from super feather all the way up to super welterweight. Back down, she says, towards her more natural 147. The final face-off.
Sandy Ryan, Terry Belter Harper, 10 rounds for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World.
Well, hopefully I'm going to be able to grab a quick word with Terry Harper just as she gets off the stage here. Terry, come in. Terry, thanks for joining us. Back down at 147, weight made, mentally, physically, how does the body feel back down at what you've described as a much more natural weight for yourself?
Yeah, I've had a very comfortable camp. I love this weight. Like I said, a lot more natural to what I walk around and stuff. And yeah, and just I feel good. I'm in a good place mentally, physically, and yeah.
When you think about where you started, you began this journey with Steffi Ball from the chip shop. He brought you into the gym. You're now on the cusp of becoming a three-weight world champion. How would you describe what this moment tomorrow means to you, Terry?
It's everything. This is more than I could ever have dreamed of, and just thankful for everyone who's given me the opportunity and time along the way, and everyone who's followed my career from the very beginning.
Final message, final prediction, what happens tomorrow night?
I'm the new free time.
Terry, thanks. I think Darren is over the stage there to hopefully grab a word with Sandy Ryan.
Sandy, you've been in some huge nights already in your career. Where does this rank as important so far?
Massive. It's a must-win for me. 2 British girls putting it on the line. It's a massive fight, and it's even bigger because it's for a world title, my world title, and it's staying with me, and still.
You've made some big sacrifices moving abroad, really not taking this lightly at all. Do you think that will be the difference tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I'm world champion. I need to be professional in what I do, so I'm taking every camp now serious. A great team around me, so yeah, all I can see is victorious night on Saturday.
And I've heard you're going to try and get this done inside the distance. Final prediction?
A win. And still.
Thank you, Sandy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to welcome everybody here to Cutler's Hall in the beautiful steel city of Sheffield, England, for the official weigh-in of our big night of World Championship Professional Boxing taking place here on Saturday night. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the WBC Silver Super Lightweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, he's a southpaw with a professional record, 37 victories, 4 defeats with 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. Desde Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, and now living, training, and fighting out of La Puente, California, USA. Here is the former 3-time world title challenger, Jose Chon Zepeda. Zepeda. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, absolutely perfect. 15 fights, 15 victories, with 11 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former English, the former WBA International Silver, the former Commonwealth, and the undefeated reigning British Super Lightweight Champion, proudly fighting out of his home of Sheffield, England. Here is the hard-hitting, undefeated young phenom, Dalton Smith. Now to the scale, Jose Chon Zepeda. $139.6 for Jose Chon Zepeda. And now to the scale, the undefeated Dalton Smith. $139.6 for Dalton Smith. 139.6.
We have a fight, Darren. That's the most important thing.
This is it. Can Dalton Smith go to that next level? This is the fight. This is the opportunity to prove yourself that you can go to that next level. You can upgrade from this WBC Silver and win a major title.
Eddie Hearn was saying yesterday, if Dalton Smith wins and he picks up that shiny WBC Silver belt, it'll put him in a terrific position. Many big nights on the horizon for Dalton Smith, but he's got a hungrier than ever Jose Zepeda in front of him. Your main event tomorrow, live on DAZN.
Dalton Smith, Jose Chon Zepeda, 12 rounds for the WBC Silver Super Lightweight Championship, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
We are hoping to grab a quick word with Dalton Smith as he gets off the stage here. We'll try and bring Dalton in, just there with Father Grant. Such a tight-knit team, which I think is so important for any fighter, isn't it?
So important, especially when you're stepping through the gears. You've got to have that confidence, you've got to have that relationship with your team, and Dalton obviously does.
Here he is, Dalton. Great to see you. Weight made. Now, when you look at the support in here for you today, as a fighter, when you're taking leaps of faith like this through the levels, how much easier is it when you've got your friends, your family, and your city behind you as well?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what we do it for. It's for the support. You know, they come out with the numbers, they make the noise, and you know, so we're all on the journey together. And you know, we're gonna have another big night tomorrow.
Look, we know what you bring to the table. What does Zepeda bring tomorrow night?
You know, I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting a hard fight. You know, Jose's experienced, he's been there, but you know, I'm the new one coming through, and I'm here to prove that.
Final one, Dalton, I know when I asked you this on Media Day earlier this week, it brought a big smile to your face. You can't wait to get the knock, to make your walk, to stand on the ramp and hear the Arctic Monkeys song kicking in for the 16th time. What is your final message? What do you promise the fans tomorrow live on DAZN around the world?
That's it. Big thank you as always, and I'll see you tomorrow night. It's going to be a good one.
Dalton Smith, wish you the very best of luck. Thanks for joining us. I believe, is Eddie Hearn going to come in for a quick word? Go on, Eddie. Well, this is a little bit embarrassing. I told him not to wear this one today.
Who wore it better?
He's going to fly off the shelves.
Is that Everlast? Yeah, you're going to have to restock this tracksuit. They're going to be like hotcakes today and tomorrow. Yeah, thank you.
They're going to absolutely love that, Eddie. I always ask you this, anticipation after the final weigh-in. You're the man in the middle. You see more than anyone. You're up close and personal. How is your excitement ahead of tomorrow night?
It's such a good card from top to bottom. I mean, even before the bell action's great for the prospects coming through. But tomorrow night, live from 7 o'clock, 5 real 50-50 fights. I mean, you know, young Nico Levias has got his hands full in the opener. I cannot wait for Campbell Hatton against Jimmy Joe Flynn. You heard the support for Jimmy Joe Flynn. He has, you know, a huge amount of support here himself. And Campbell Hatton really coming into the backyard of Jimmy Joe Flynn. He's doing it against the champion, you know, for the criticism that he's received because of the opportunities that he's got. It's all out of the window tomorrow night. He's right in the deep end, and it's time to find out if he can swim without the armbands on. Troy Williamson, who came in heavy, Ishmael Davis, they've got some work to do backstage to agree this fight tomorrow night. I'm sure they'll get it on, and it's going to be an absolute ding-dong back and forward war tomorrow. And Terry Harper against Sandy Ryan, that, you know, people are struggling to pick the winner. Sandy Ryan on a great run of form despite the unlucky draw against McCaskill, but Terry Harper, you know, looking to become a 3-division world champion, and every time she's won a belt, she's done it against the champion, and huge support for her. And Zepeda looks really fired up and ready. Massive step up for Dalton Smith. Can he be a real star in this city? Can he be the next world champion from Britain? This fight will take him maybe just one fight away from that. It's a brilliant matchup, brilliant card.
Well, we are going to find out tomorrow, 5:15 p.m. tomorrow night. Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels, 4 before the bell, 7 p.m. round the world on DAZN. One place to watch all the action. We cannot wait. From myself, Darren Barker, Mr. Eddie Hearn. We'll see you tomorrow.